Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you a 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello and enjoy your discount. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. Hey friends, welcome back. This is Spencer Colgan from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper. Today I'm hanging a ceiling mural. And before we hang the mural, which is the easiest part of the whole task, we have to map it out. And one of the best ways to do that is to put it out, if you can, on a floor to determine how it's going to look when it's up on the ceiling. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now, you want to lay out your mural. In fact, many of us don't lay out the mural. And then the 1 out of 100 times when you have a problem, you discover it too late. I highly suggest that if you have the space, you lay out your mural. So we're doing the ceiling, right? So our ceiling is 156 inches wide from the top of your screen to the bottom of your screen. And we laid out the mural. All the colors are there. It's beautiful. It's not defective. Can you just show them the mural here? And so what I did was I simulated the installation on the floor. What do I mean by that? Well, the back of each panel has a number. And so I laid them out to make sure that the pattern is correct, but also I want to eliminate the overlap. Now you can do it mathematically on a calculator, because you could simply determine how wide the overlap is and deduct that from the space your wallpaper will be taking up. My overlap happens to be 1 3/4 inches, which is completely unusual. It's usually 1 inch. There are no instructions, and so I have to lay this out to determine not only what is my overlap, but is my overlap consistent with every sheet? Because if you mess it up, you blow it. Since there are no instructions, this is the way you have to do it if you want to be absolutely correct with installation of your mural. You can't say, well, the manufacturer, they messed up. They gave me 1 1/4 here, 2 inch overlap over here. Every overlap is 1 3/4. And what do I mean by that? If you can just bring them in closer, you'll see that this little dot here is the same dot I just placed over it. And so if you measure the distance from this edge to this edge, it's 1 3/4 of an inch. And so we need 156 inches, and we have X amount of inches for our mural. And when you deduct 1 3/4 inches from all of the panels, minus the side of the first sheet and minus the side of the last sheet, you come up with your bleed, which is the scrap that's going to be thrown out afterwards. The point of discussing this is this. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you want this in your pattern, oh, I want that in the pattern. It came a little longer than I need. I want that in there. You might make this mistake. You might fail to take into account that the width of your mural is X minus your bleed. If you don't take into account that your mural is not this, but this, you'll make a major mistake, and you might actually wind up short when you install it. So we're going to proceed and hang this beautiful mural from limitlesswalls.com on this ceiling and give it, I mean, this is one of the most beautiful murals I've ever seen. And if you have a say in the width of your murals, let them be workable panels. You'll get a better job. Anybody can do this. These are 24 inches wide. 54 is too wide working overhead. But the manufacturers don't know that, and they really don't care. So, Limitless Walls, I told them, I don't want 48 to 54 inches wide. Give me something more manageable, and that's what they did. So, if you have occasion to order a mural, either for your wall or for your ceiling, speak to Sean. This video is being made in the summer of 2021. He may not be there when you watch this video, but speak to somebody and say, hey, I want the panels to be X amount of inches wide, which is workable for you, okay? I'll see you on the next frame. So we just pasted our first strip. And of course, you want to keep in mind what's the top and what's the bottom. But after you get that mapped out, now we have to transfer the sheet to the ceiling. And so we're going to get our laser. We're going to transfer the width of this and give us a guiding line. And it's going to be somewhere about right where you see my finger, drawing that line, okay? And that'll be our first strip. So let's get to it. So my wallpaper is booking right now, it's soaking. And just to let you know, it has already expanded. About 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna get up on my ladder and draw a line or make a mark 25 inches from this mark. Okay? But I'm going to deduct 2 inches. So then I'm going to just move my line over 2 inches, and that'll be the line against which I start hanging the first edge. Okay? So even though my wallpaper is 25 inches wide, I certainly don't want the 25-inch mark to be exactly from this edge, because if this crown is off or if this opening is off, our wallpaper is going to show a gap somewhere. So we're going to move it over and give ourselves a 2-inch leeway. So if you look, I made my 23-inch mark on that pencil line. And that'll give me my 2 inches of leeway that'll overlap onto the crown. So I put my Bosch laser level on the floor and I gave myself a straight line there. So now my pencil line is extended with the laser. Now here's the trick to hanging this without losing your mind. So I have 18 feet of wallpaper, right? We're going to take this and cut it into thirds. I'm simply going to take this square and make myself 3 manageable sheets with which to work. Okay? If you're a wallpaper hanger, you know what this is called. It's very similar to the process of making a splice. And you could simply do this from this scaffold. But my point is, do you want to hang 18 feet of wallpaper, holding that in your hand as you work the wallpaper onto the ceiling, when you don't have to, and the end result will be beautiful either way? After you do your first cut, you're now going to make the wallpaper into a manageable piece to hang. And so we're just going to fold it like a ribbon. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So holding the wallpaper up, we're simply making folds. This is far more manageable than doing it any other way. Okay? And so now when I go up to my ceiling, I just expose this piece while I'm holding this piece underneath. And I'm going to put a roll underneath that one to hold it firmly across. I'll show you what I mean. In order for the paper that I'm hanging not to collapse as I'm holding it with my little hand in the middle of it, collapsing like this, making it extremely unmanageable, I simply take the tube from which the wallpaper comes from the manufacturer, and that supports the wallpaper perfectly while I install it on the ceiling. If I'm not supported all across the width of this wall covering, I'm in for it. So after pasting the entire sheet, I took my square and I put it over the wallpaper. It's a T-square, and I slice straight down, coming up with this edge, and that edge. And why did I do that? How would you like to hang 18 feet of wallpaper by yourself? That's your answer. And so now, when I put the wallpaper on the ceiling, this edge right here is going to meet right up with this edge. You say, well, why'd you make a seam? I answer, didn't the manufacturer, didn't he make a seam here? Why can't I make one? Ah, now you're thinking like a wallpaper hanger. Now let's be logical. Would you hang the first sheet? Who says yes? Which sheet do I hang first? The first one or the second one? Well, I gotta hang the second one because the second one goes first, because the second sheet will reach the boundary of this mural, which is right here. If I go here, how do I know where my middle should be? It's only going to be determined by putting up this sheet, and then I'll match this one to the one that's laid out the full length of this oddly shaped tray. So I have to do the second one first. If you have a square or a rectangle, go for it. But if you have an oval, you better hang the middle first, right? Same idea. The second sheet will give me the full expanse of this tray. If I hang this first sheet first, I may and I likely will be off by hanging it too short. In other words, where it matches up here, if I hang this one first, I might be off with the second sheet. It might be too short. So doing this will give you a true read on where the mural should be.
And this will be the first part that goes up. So, getting there, just 2.5 more sheets. Not easy. Not easy. So, getting there, just 2.5 more sheets. Not easy. Not easy. When I say pain in the neck, I mean a true pain. So the panels are working out well, getting cut. As you can see while I'm on that ladder, on that scaffold, it is far easier to deal with smaller strips. And I'll tell you what, a lot of professionals are struggling with unmanageable pieces of wallpaper. I see it. I see it on their YouTube, their Instagram, etc. I called the company that made this mural and I said, let's work together on this. Give me manageable widths. Because when you're up there on installing an overhead, it is a significant challenge when you're doing a mural this wide. Okay? I just cleaned the mural and I'll be installing the last 2 sheets and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. The tool we have been using in the video is a T-square. Simple T-square. But what makes it so effective is the width of it.
Oh, that thing we talked about yesterday, yeah.
So, like, I don't even know, like,
Wow.
what we would do in there.
Wow, he's out, man. This guy must have massive, strong shoulders. That's how, Jesus. Talks about my stuff being tedious. That's a patience tester right there.
It's too expensive. I sent it to my son. He goes, I would have lost my shit, like, an hour into
That's all I'm saying. I know how it feels to work on a ceiling. If you try to lay something straight like that on a ceiling.
So, what idea would you have, like, just in that bronze thing part? Would we,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't even have an idea. I mean, because just leaving it brown when the ceiling is white seems kind of weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Weird.
What?
Let's see what looks like it's all night
I'm gonna hit the restroom in a minute, Brian. I'll be right back.
Okay. What do you think this one for?
or. Well, I think,
Right. Now, okay, so you're going to do it. Okay, three ideas right now. Okay, each section, just break down where that color is in the section and same as the design. Make that each section same as the color. Second would be to do it like that. Just that two part. Still. Okay, the color in that. Like that. Right there. On top of that color. Okay, you're thinking. So that's okay. That would be number two. Number three, of course, would be that would be. This is no. Yeah, but you want to make it. Yeah, and you got to the brown front door. Down there. The blues and gray. Yeah, it's just something that you go well, I would say probably wood. Because, you know, we're going to be looking at about 3 shades per section, you know. There's a little bit of color. Yeah, you got to reproduce the scratch. Bring the down to that. Do you like something with me? That big down on the wall too. Yeah, it's like a double input. It's all the way around it. So you just check the ceiling. Right in. Walk it in.
Yeah, so that's it.
Well, will you be able to do that and do the door? Because I want you to do the door.
As you can see, we used 2 methods here. One of them was to install the wallpaper with the cylindrical object underneath each sheet. The other was simply to, as you see as I slowed down this part of the video, to take the sheet, attach it at its installed counterpart, and then simply have a helper use a T-square, pushing the wallpaper, keeping the weight of the wallpaper up against the ceiling as you come behind the T-square and put the sheet of wallpaper into place. The first method is the way to proceed when you're solo. But if you can get some help and you can relieve the stress on your shoulders, I cannot tell you the stress that this puts on the shoulders and the muscles between the neck and the shoulders. This would be the way to go. But oftentimes you don't have a helper. So you see that T-square right there, holding the weight of that wallpaper up as I bring the sheet I'm installing up against its counterpart that's already installed. What a gratifying feeling it is to look at this after the grueling process of having to do something like this, especially when you're alone. I've installed these murals alone and with help, and unless the helper in this particular case has a little experience with wallpaper, it's very difficult having two people on a scaffold, having one of them not familiar with the process. But it's a gratifying feeling to see the beauty of this. Here's another consideration. You don't want to handle the wallpaper unnecessarily. Handling the wallpaper causes friction against the material. It also can cause wrinkles. The reason why I break the wallpaper down into manageable sheets is so that I don't have to handle it unnecessarily. Look at this mural. And you can't see the seams when you're 3 inches away from it. It looks up close as you see it now. Just beautiful. If you have any questions about anything I used in this video, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video. Please click on like and please consider subscribing to my channel.